Hello and welcome to GlobeSongs. I'm Carla Seidel. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Chilean folk song Te Recuerdo, Amanda, or I Remember You, Amanda. Te recuerdo, Amanda, la calle mojada, corriendo a la fábrica donde trabajaba Manuel. This song was written by Víctor Jara in 1969 and became a symbol of class struggle. It recounts the story of a working-class couple, Amanda and Manuel. I remember you, Amanda, the wet street, running to the factory where Manuel worked. The wide smile, the rain in your hair, nothing mattered, you were going to meet him. It's a romantic song, but also a political song, referencing the tough working conditions that lower classes faced. For example, only having a 5-minute break in which to see your love. Or to do anything, go to the bathroom. Him, it's 5 minutes. Life is eternal in 5 minutes. The siren sounds, back to work, and you, walking. You brighten everything. The 5 minutes make you bloom. This song has been interpreted by many famous artists, including Joan Baez, Mercedes Sosa, Silvio Rodriguez, and the names of the characters Jara took from his parents and his daughter, who was also named Amanda. But it's not their story, but rather, as Jara himself put it when he introduced the song before a concert in 1973, it's the story of the love of two workers in any factory, in any place existing in the soul. Víctor Jara sang songs about love, yes, but also about the plight of the working class, the struggle of laborers. He himself grew up in poverty and was very active in the popular unity movement. Some argue that Jara's music was essential to the victory of Marxist Salvador Allende, who stood for worker and peasant rights. Jara's songs were like the soundtrack to Allende's campaign, in fact. In the Netflix documentary Massacre at the Stadium, Jara is described by one person as a cross between Bob Dylan and Martin Luther King. In his tireless struggle against injustice, he became a symbol of the power of the people. Turning to the second stanza, we see an interesting foreshadowing of what was to befall Víctor Jara. He who left for the mountain, who never did harm, who left for the mountain, and in 5 minutes he was destroyed. The siren sounds, back to work. Many didn't come back, neither did Manuel. Now, what was Jara referring to here? What happens to Manuel? Que partió a la sierra, que nunca hizo daño, que partió a la sierra, y en 5 minutos quedó destrozado. I found two interpretations of this. The first is that it was a work accident, like, for example, a mining accident, that he was killed on the job. But why would a factory worker be sent to work in the mountains? The second interpretation refers to Manuel being sent to fight in the guerrilla. Rural Latin American guerrillas of that time period, it seems, almost always started in the hills and the mountains. And as the song recounts, women would be left alone as the men were away fighting. Jara was not sent to the mountains, but he was made to never come back, to disappear. He was detained, tortured, and killed in the Estadio de Chile, the Chile Stadium, in the aftermath of the military coup led by Augusto Pinochet on September 11, 1973, which has become known as the first 9/11. Over 800 people were murdered that day and in the weeks that followed. What was the U.S. involvement in this? Afraid of socialist Allende creating another Cuba, the U.S. actually gave financial and other support to overthrowing the Allende government and to putting the military in power. Under the Pinochet regime, over 1,200 people, including Víctor Jara, became desaparecidos, or the disappeared. They were made to disappear. Leftist socialists and political critics were persecuted. Tens of thousands were tortured, and as many as 80,000 were interned. In the film Massacre at the Stadium, you can find out the story of how the officer indicted for killing Jara is living free in the US now, just as I couldn't believe this when I was studying abroad in Chile in 2002. I found out that Pinochet himself was living freely in Santiago, just a couple neighborhoods away. He died in 2006 without having been convicted for his crimes. Victor Jara's story is so tragic, but I send great gratitude to him for his many powerful songs for justice and for leaving us this beautiful song, Te Recuerdo, Amanda. In 2003, the Chile Stadium was renamed for him, Victor Jara Stadium. And each year now, the festival 1,000 Guitars for Victor Jara is held in Santiago. People gather there and play guitars together in tribute to this great artist. Thanks for joining me on GlobeSongs today. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing to GlobeSongs. Until next time.
Te recuerdo, Amanda, la calle mojada, corriendo a la fábrica donde trabajaba Manuel. La sonrisa ancha, la lluvia en el pelo, no importaba nada, ibas a encontrarte con él, con él, con él, con él, con él. Son 5 minutos, la vida es eterna en 5 minutos. Suena la sirena, de vuelta al trabajo, y tú caminando, lo iluminas todo. Los 5 minutos te hacen florecer. Te recuerdo, Amanda, la calle mojada, corriendo a la fábrica donde trabajaba Manuel. La sonrisa ancha, la lluvia en el pelo, no importaba nada, ibas a encontrarte con él, con él, con él, con él, con él, que partió a la sierra, que nunca hizo daño, que partió a la sierra, y en 5 minutos quedó destrozado. Suena la sirena, de vuelta al trabajo, muchos no volvieron, tampoco Manuel. Te recuerdo, Amanda, la calle mojada, corriendo a la fábrica